Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for a special review. It is my guy Clep over to the side here, joining me for the review of the new film Clerks III, exclusively coming to theaters starting September 13th through the 18th. Full transparency, folks, this is the first Clerks I've ever seen. Honestly, it's the first one I've ever seen. But I was excited to check it out. I know this film had been in the making for a while.
Yeah.
And my guy Clep is a huge Kevin Smith fan.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to speak too much for him here, but like it was a no-brainer that I wanted to bring him in for the review here. I'm just going to quickly say that this film was a little bit full transparency, folks. This film is definitely targeted to a certain audience that partaked in a certain activity and substance that I don't. So
Same.
the first half of the movie was a little bit of a struggle to me, but they really got into it towards the second half. So it was a film where I was kind of like, I see why I never seen it. And then by the second half, I was like, oh, this is dope. This is definitely dope. And it reminded me of a lot of the cinema I used to watch as a kid, where I just really appreciated the characters. I really appreciated the banter amongst the cast. Yes, there were certain random things that were happening here, but I was still invested in even characters who had the most minimum roles in it. And it overall was just a story that you just consume. You want to get your favorite tidbits from out of it. You want to repeat it to your friends. I could imagine how many of like certain parts of the script was callbacks to the original films and or Jay and Silent Bob. But like, even for me not have to seen them, I appreciated it. And you can feel when a nod was a nod, when it was just like, hey, that's a callback to something. If you know, you know. And I was kind of on the outside, like, I don't know, but I know y'all talk about something here. But I appreciated it. And I really did appreciate one thing in particular. And that was Kevin Smith. I felt like he was flexing in this film, where he wanted to let folks know, like, when you speak about some of the best filmmakers in Hollywood, I feel like this was his campaign of saying, like, I can do it on all ends, and I can still cater to my OG fans, but I also can do things going forward and in different mediums. And I feel like there was a little bit of the script that you can feel that was literally personal to him, where he was saying things, but like, you know, I'm a director, I know what I'm doing here. And I was just like, I feel you, bro. I feel you. So I feel like this is a film, if you're a fan since day one, you're gonna love it. I feel like if you're coming on board like me, it's gonna be a little bit of a rough watch in the beginning, but I feel like you certainly, and especially at a specific part, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is getting interesting. This is getting good. But sir, you're the OG. I feel like you and Kevin Smith got to be like buddies or something like that. But like, you know, I brought you on here for a reason. So like, talk me through this, man.
So first, I gotta say, like, I feel for you. Like, I'm heartbroken because you only got to see this. So there's a lot of emotional connection that you're not like holding on to going into it. So you're right. This film, it's for the OG fans. That's just what Kevin does. Like he's like anti-Hollywood. Like, he makes his movies that he wants to make for the people that he know that want him to make them. And that's just the way he always moves. He doesn't really like doing studio films for other people or directing other people's written works. He feels more in the pocket when he's doing his own thing, which I respect, and which is why he's one of my favorite directors ever, and writers to ever do it. With that being said, like, I really wish that you could have had a chance to at least see the first one, see the second one, and even a couple in between, like Jay and Silent Bob films, before you got to this one, because I think you really would have enjoyed the ride. But I'm happy that you enjoyed it just as a casual who's never seen it, because you never usually hear that with Kevin Smith movies. Like, people are either with it or they're not. So to know that you could even get into it, that's okay with me. I like that. But was the question? You wanted to know what I thought, what I think about this?
Well, hold on, really quick, because I feel like I want
Yeah.
folks to know what's happening in this film. So you have Randal,
Okay.
just recently had a heart attack, and I think
Yeah.
when you get real close to God, you start thinking you need to do a couple of things before you're removed from this earth.
So,
And of course, fellow clerk Dante here, he's like, listen, man, I need to make a movie. And I don't know if I got the money. I don't know if I got the cast, but I know I got this great idea. I don't even know if I can even write a script, but we're going to do the thing. And that's where he does go down this journey of making a film and truly trying to leave his impact on Earth.
Yeah.
And truly showcase his life of being at the convenience store. And there's a lot of other different things kind of going on here. I mean, Dante has a crazy story arc in this, and
Jay, so go ahead.
I was gonna say, and when you throw in, Jay and Silent Bob in here, like it's like the wild card in everything, and great moments with the two of them. And I also love, because we know those two characters can stand on their own, obviously by movie, but I love how everybody has a moment to really shine in all of this. And I gotta say, I mean, Kevin Smith again as Silent Bob, there's some very, very unpredictable kind of mind-blowing moments in this for him. And as I said, he flexes, but you realize that I was verbalizing his flexing. So read between the lines on this one. I was like, oh, okay, interesting here. So but go ahead, sir. Also, can you tell people when you've seen this movie? Because I recently seen it.
I saw this movie last year. I don't even know if I'm even supposed to say that, but Kevin Smith has this fan club that he loves very, very much. And when I say that he loves his fan club, he gives them so many perks. He brings his fans along for the ride. And when I say along for the ride, it's like he lets you know the shooting schedule, when it's going to happen, how it's happening, as it's happening. And then he says, you know what? I'm going to invite some of you out to watch my movie. Before it even had distribution, he wasn't even done with some of the music, and he allowed a handful of his club to come in. We went to Jersey. We went to the Quick Stop where his podcast studio is, and he allowed us to watch the movie. And it was the best experience, because where the film goes with these characters that we've grown up with since 1994, bro. Like, to see, I say this in my little breakdown, is like from where they started, where they were, and where they are. It's just an emotional ride overall. Just knowing his love for these characters. These were his very first on-screen characters. So, it was just an emotional thing. It was just beautiful. I don't even know what to say. Like, I loved what he did with it. It was a great ending. I love it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, for somebody again coming in as a casual, like, when you look at this camaraderie amongst these friends, like, you can't help but to gravitate towards that, because I think a lot of us kind of grew up with these type of bonds, and even though that they're adults, they're betting on themselves, they're out here having fun, they're being productive, they're being creative. I mean, that's special. And then when you have these moments of them reflecting back on their time, and then they use the footage from the previous films to reflect on that. I mean, it doesn't the feels, regardless of how you feel about seeing it or not, you feel that like this means something. And so I was like, wow, this is the moment, beyond other moments.
So to sum up everything that you're saying, like, for those who don't understand, what I compare this film to, as I say, is Clerk meets Zack and Mary Made a Porno. And I don't know, have you ever seen that one?
Of course. I got the DVD.
And you know what I mean by that. Like, what I mean when I say it's like Clerks meets Zack and Mary Meet a Porno. It's just the way that, the cuts and the montage moments and things like that. Like, the way Kev has a style that's very nostalgic and very, I don't know, warm, I guess that you could say. But yeah, all of those moments were so dope. when they make the nods and the callbacks and they recreate scenes that a lot of people will be remembering and familiar with who are like hardcore fans.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best work he's done, but for this franchise, these characters, for the Clerks franchise, I think he hit the nail on the head. But it is even as a fan, it's not his best picture. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a fun emotional ride for the real hardcore fans. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So folks, there's a ton of cameos in this. During the audition scene, just gonna say it's a ton of cameos, and I don't know if these characters appeared in previous films, but for me, it's still like, oh yeah, Kevin Smith's connected when you got certain folks appearing, and I could tell you who, and I won't, but I will say this: I will spoil this. So, spoiler alert right now. This movie was made about a year or something ago, because the fact that he was able to assemble the Practical Jokers, who I'm a huge fan of, and we all know that since they're not a full force 4 anymore, was special to me. And I know he didn't do this on purpose, but I think that speaks to sort of the motif of the movie. When you say because put it this way, that film had been made this year, and then it comes out, you're like, oh wow, he was able to assemble the 4 of them back together.
Yeah.
And we all were heartbroken when they broke up, if you're a fan of them, of course. But it speaks to what the motif of this movie was, where you have these group of friends come together to put together a movie that meant everything to Randal.
Yeah.
And it's literally the same thing where you're just like, oh, you got the 4 of them together to do the movie for Kevin Smith. I mean, it's kind of mind blowing when you look at it from that way. And little stuff like that means a lot to me. But overall, this ain't my favorite movie of all time, but God knows that I was very entertained with this, and I was just a little bit of a rough start. But after a while, I was like, oh, this is getting entertaining. And I you're right, from the numerous skits that kind of happen, sort of these random pop-ins, characters who's only in the film for about, I don't know, 1 minute max, really turning your eyes towards them like, oh, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can tell Kevin not only is great at what he does, but he really empowers his cast to go do what they do.
Yeah.
You see people, especially in the cameos, you see people do who we know them to be, and the range of who they are, and it's crazy. It's some of the best entertainment I've seen in the movie in a while. And I love improv, number one. So this is just right down my alley. I was like, okay, let's go. I mean, hell, if there's extras with that, I'm buying the Blu-ray instantly for that. So yeah. So listen, because again, you are the diehard fan of the franchise of Kevin Smith. I kind of want you to kind of take us home on this one. Overall, is this a film that you go out the way to see? Do you wait to stream it? Is it a must for the franchise? Is it like a, hey, if it falls in your lap, do you check it out? How you feeling?
Well, one of my gripes that what I felt about the film is that its cinema quality isn't like Clerks 2. Clerks 2 is the Clerks movie Kev wanted to make. It's cinematic. It's cleaner. It looks motion picture. This one feels like a streaming movie, although it's going to make its theatrical run. Unless you are a die-hard Kevin Smith fan, it's going to be a 50-50 for you. And that's just my opinion. If you want to go check something out, go check something out. Definitely, if you want to have a good time with the friends, go see this. Go out of your way. Go check it out. You will have fun. You will laugh. You will be like, what the hell did I just watch? And you may even shed a tear or two. Who knows? Yeah. But it's definitely going to put you on a ride. But I'd say for the hardcore Kevin Smith fans, this is a no-brainer. You need to go see this. you need to, especially if you are a Clerks fan or a fan of Jay and Silent Bob, this is right in there. This movie, the whole Clerks franchise, to strip it down, is about life. Life from when we get out of high school and we think that we're going to be something and we just haven't reached our full potential and we're just lingering in the gray area. And then part 2 comes in, we finally have an epiphany and we figure out what it is that we need to do. And then 3, life happens. That's literally the best way to sum up the franchise of Clerks. Yeah. So man, I'm moved. I'm moved when I think about this. Like I want to see it again because I'm just so invested in it. Like, I just think it's a he did a good thing with these characters. You can tell, like you said, he loves these characters. He loves them. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, you get a chance to check out Clerks 3 exclusively in theaters starting September 13th through the 18th. Little limited theatrical run. Brought to you by Lionsgate. So expect to see this available on digital on demand at some point. That date is not announced. So, they probably, who knows? Maybe they're going to take the DVD after this.
He's doing the tour right now. You can buy tickets for his, he's doing a meet and greet tour with the movie that starts Sunday.
All right.
And he's going to everybody's like, there's a long list. He's going everywhere. And there's still tickets available in certain cities. Rhode Island is still popping. I might go to that one because he's going to be there doing a Q&A and meet and greet, plus showing the movie. So
there you go. Yeah. Kevin Smith, a man of the fans here, making sure you can get up close personal with him as he promotes his newest and latest project in Clerks 3. Folks, jump in the comments. Let us know your thoughts about this film once you check it out. Your excitement, your hype to check it out. And as always, folks, stay tuned for many more reviews very, very soon. Thank you for watching, folks.